The Lehigh University Enterprise Systems Center, through the Pennsylvania Agile Manufacturing Program, in response to Nestle Waters and other Pennsylvania manufacturers who are highly concerned about the 2010 electricity rate increases, has created a new agility-based approach to a manufacturing company's energy audit. The Enterprise Systems Center has created an innovative Pennsylvania Agile Manufacturing Program that combines process mapping from industrial engineering with agility principles and electrical power efficiency theories from electrical engineering to create an approach called Agile Energy Process Mapping. This takes a holistic view of the electrical system and avoids the sub-optimization tendencies of traditional siloed energy audits that only reveal each subcategory's performance. Taking this approach, a 2-year-old Leeds Gold Plant Energy Process Mapping exercise resulted in annual savings of approximately $100,000 per year with no capital expense. It also provided for the first time the basis for more accurate cost accounting of this critical cost component.
You know, utilities is a huge part of when you're making your own bottles. You have to heat plastic. You got to have high pressure air to blow it. And utilities are very expensive to run. So when you're talking, you know, sometimes 500 horsepower motors running the things, you want to know exactly what they're using over a period of time. So we have some older equipment, we have some newer equipment. So putting real data together will allow me to put some information together to maybe put some capital money together to replace some of the older stuff with newer technologies. It'll pay for itself in energy over the payback period. I think it's definitely doable. Projects like this help do that, and it would take me forever to have the time to sit and do this, if ever.
Peter Rittenhouse, Director of Supply Chain, is very happy with the results of the Pennsylvania Agile Manufacturing Program and is committed to a long-term relationship with the Lehigh University Enterprise Systems Center. He sees great advantages for promoting the growth of the Pennsylvania Nestle Waters operations through access to the special skills and expertise provided by the program.
I've really grown to admire and respect the relationship that we have with Lehigh. I think, you know, ultimately it's an extra set of hands on things that we always intended to go do but never found the time, and other things got in the way of getting some of these problems really defined and then work against. You know, we have a great laboratory here. We have a factory that's 15 years old. We have a factory that's brand new. And we always wanted to understand the power differences and you know, this project, and it's gone on for 2 years now, so where we've mapped the electrical piece. In that mapping, we're able to solve some specific problems with the new plant startup, and now we're approaching where we have a direct comparison to we know exactly where our older plant is inefficient and what we need to go fix so that we can get our older plant as efficient as our newer factory.
The project, which resulted in significant savings for the Allentown, Pennsylvania Nestle Waters facility, also provided students with opportunities to develop their technical and leadership skills through a real-world experience.
Being someone who's really just learned in a classroom, you know, been someone who studied and, you know, mastered different areas of knowledge, but then having to not only apply it in a real-world setting, but also having to do so with the help of other people. It's not something you just come in and can do on your own. You need to, you know, interact with different people and find out what you need to know to get where you want to go. I think that's probably been the most important part for me, just that practical.
Just integrating both the electrical background and the IE, the electrical, and learning more about the three-phase power, and the IE perspective. When I developed the flow diagram with Alex, and I came over to this plant and developed the flow diagram for this plant. I think that's very important, integrating both branches of engineering as well as my mechanical background.
I feel very lucky to have had this opportunity to work in a manufacturing plant because it's a little bit different than the career that I want to pursue, but I think it's definitely very, very worthwhile to have had this experience so I can bring that to my future employers and future work opportunities. I think it brings a really interesting perspective.
Peter Rittenhouse discusses how the Enterprise Systems Center's unique layered mentoring approach contributed to the success of the project.
So over the years, I've worked with several, college engineers in summer programs and trying to make a difference like this, like we've talked about with the extra set of hands. And one of the problems is, you have a problem, and then you've got all these things that you're working on, and sometimes you don't give the right amount of direction, which you think is crystal clear direction to a student. They may be very confusing. So they're out there working, and sometimes they take comments that you don't think are too significant, and they put too much weight on it, and it gets them off course. But with Lehigh, we have a mentor with Joe, and he really adds this practical, kind of experience, and is able to intervene and guide the students to hit the target, and gives them enough freedom so they can learn, but also enough direction so that we're making progress.